Good morning, children. Let's continue with revision. We have already done chapter 8, where we had discussed about fill in the blanks, match the following. Okay, give reason, answer in detail, etc. Here, we'll continue with state whether right or wrong with reasons. Okay, now here again, under this question, you'll be given, four questions. You'll have to write out of five. Okay, and here too, it each carries 1 mark. For writing whether it is right or wrong, you'll be given half a mark, and for reason, half. Okay, so 1 mark for each question. The future of tourism is bright in India due to its natural diversity. Answer, right. Okay, due to its natural diversity, many tourists from different parts of India as well as from foreign countries visit the different tourist places in India. Okay, so India is known for its diversity in its physical features, whether it is the mountains, the plains, the plateaus, the hills, or even deserts. Okay, so people from various parts of India as well as from foreign countries also visit India. There are various physiographic divisions, each having its own beauty. We know that there are various physiographic features in India, and they're known for its natural beauty. Tourism also results in development of other services in an economy. Okay, so other connected services, for example, which is connected with tourism. For example, we have bringing in people who are connected with tourism industry. For example, they earn money, they get employment. Okay, and this also results in the development of a region. Okay, so all these services which are connected with tourism also develop. Second one, tourism is an invisible trade. Okay, so here the answer is right. Tourism is a tertiary occupation as trade involves exchange of tangible goods, export and import. Okay, so tourism is a tertiary occupation. Okay, because tourism, as trade, it involves trade. Okay, and trade involves the exchange of tangible goods. That is, say, export of and import of commodities. The income through tourism is indirect, as tourists spend their money at the places where they stay and travel for various services which they use locally. Okay, now whatever income comes through tourism is actually indirect, because tourists don't pay directly to the government. They pay to for the places, the hotels that they stay. Okay, and also they also pay for travel, that is moving from one place to the other. They pay the taxis. Okay, so wherever they use the services of people, they are paying locally. So no object or commodity is transferred, but money for the services is provided by the tertiary sector. Okay, for example, travel, insurance, banks, etc. Third one, indicator of development in a country is the development of transport in a country. Okay, so the moment you look at a country, if there is easy availability of transport and communication, that is, say, there are good roads, railways are developed, there has been a development, or the country is developed. Okay, we have studied about the Amazon region. Okay, now Amazon region compared to other parts it's not developed because of the swampy nature, because of the dense forest, because of high rainfall. So this statement is right. Speedy and dense transport network is found in developed countries. Okay, so the transport services are very, very dense in developed countries. Transport system is slow and sparse in undeveloped countries. So in underdeveloped countries, we find transport system is very, very slow, and that too it is not dense. Therefore, the indicator of development in a country is the development of transport in the country. The fourth one, Brazil's time is ahead of India's time. Okay, so this statement is wrong because India is situated to the east of the international date line. Okay, so India is situated to the east of the international date time. Indian Standard Time is ahead of Greenwich Mean Time by 5 hours 30 minutes. So India is situated to the east of the international date line and it is ahead of GMT by 5 hours 30 minutes. On the other hand, we find Brazil is situated to the west of the international date line. Okay, so Brazil is situated to the west of the international date line and it is 3 hours behind GMT. Thus, Brazil's time is 8 hours 30 minutes behind India's time. Okay, so if you add up these two, that is, Indian time is ahead of GMT by 5 hours 30 minutes and Brazil's time is behind GMT by 3 hours. You add up these two, you get 8 hours 30 minutes. Therefore, we find Brazil's time is 8 hours 30 minutes behind India's time. Okay. Fifth one, the development of tourism in India has begun recently. The statement is right. Though many people are engaged in tourism since decades, the number of tourists to India has been on the increase since 1995. Okay, now tourism has been there since ages in one form or the other. People have been moving from one country to the other and from other countries to India. This has been there since a long time. But you find there is an increase in tourism in the number of people coming to India has been on the increase. It's only since 1995. There's been a sharp increase in the number of tourists between 2010 to 2015. Okay, so from 2010 to 2015, we find there has been a sharp increase in the number of tourists due to various measures taken by the government to attract tourists. So the government of India has taken a lot of steps to increase tourism because it realized that this is one method of earning foreign exchange. It realized the potential of earning through this industry and concentrating on this aspect. So a number of steps have been taken by the Indian government to attract tourists. Okay, so places, okay, heritage places, okay, hotels, opening of hotels, okay. So there are a lot of then you have ecotourism, okay. Then you find India has also been able to attract tourists by various steps, okay. As I said, in the field of medicine too, we find when you compare it with other countries, you find the amount spent on medicines in India, on many surgeries, etc., is very, very less. So there are various steps taken by the government of India to attract tourists. So the statement is right. The development of tourism in India has begun recently. Okay, the next one is short answers. Now the short answers here, again, you'll have to write two answers, okay, answers to two questions, and each carries 2 marks, so marks are 4, okay, and you'll have to remember that you'll have to write these answers in points. Okay, the first one, which factors attract more tourists in Brazil? The following factors which attract more tourists to Brazil are, okay, the first one, clean white sand beaches. Second one, attractive sea coasts. Third, beautiful islands and orchards. Fourth one, deep, dense forests of the Amazon, various birds and animals. And sixth one, cities like Brasilia, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo also attract lots of tourists. Okay, so in this, since it carries 2 marks, okay, try writing all the points. Those of course you can write just 2 points for 2 marks. Okay, so out of the 6 here, you can write any 2 points. Okay, so what are the factors which attract more tourists in Brazil? They are clean white sands, beaches, attractive seacoasts, beautiful islands and orchards, deep, dense forests of the Amazon, various birds and animals, and also cities like Brasilia, Rio de Janeiro, and Sao Paulo. Second one, what are the difficulties in the development of railway system in Brazil's internal areas? Your answer, railways are not very well developed in Brazil. Though cheaper, the use of railways is restricted to a few urban tourist routes. Okay, so if you take Brazil for example, this system of transportation, that is railways, is not very well developed. And of course we know, though the railways are cheaper, the use of railways is there only in a few urban tourist routes. The inaccessible dense forests of the Amazon River basin and the swampy lands of the Pantanal have limited the development of railways here. Okay, so inaccessible, that is the dense forest, it's very, very difficult to go deep into the forests of the Amazon River, and also the Pantanal, which are the swampy lands. Here you find the railways have not been developed much. Then, the rigid topography of the Brazilian highlands create hindrances to expansion of existing railways. Though you find railways are there, okay, in the Brazilian highlands, but since the topography of the Brazilian highlands is very, very rigid, the relief is rigid, and also you find it is because of this reason that it is very difficult to expand the already existing railways. Moreover, the cost of laying new railway tracks is very expensive. Now, it is very, very expensive to lay new tracks in regions of hilly terrain. Okay, so you find that these are some of the very reasons why it is difficult to develop railway system in Brazil. Third one, which means of communication has expedited the field of communication? The various means of communication include both landlines as well as mobile services, television, radio, broadcasting, computer, etc. Okay, so which are the various means of communication? The various means of communication include both the landlines, okay, as well as mobile services. Then you have television, radio, broadcasting, and also computers. Then, as compared to India, Brazil has a well-developed and efficient communication system. Now, when you compare India with Brazil, you find Brazil has a very well-developed and also an efficient communication system. The telecommunication infrastructure is fairly modern, particularly in central South Brazil. Now, this in central South Brazil, you find the telecommunication infrastructure is rather modern. 45% of Brazil's population has access to the internet, while India is one of the largest users of smartphones and internet. Okay, so in Brazil, nearly 45% of the people have access to internet, and India is one of the largest users of the smartphones and internet. The fourth is Brazil is developing technology to send domestically made satellites into space with its own rockets, while the ISRO looks after the space launching programs of India. Okay, now Brazil is developing technology, okay, to send domestically made satellites into space with its own rockets, and in India, the ISRO is looking after the space launching programs. Thus, the expansion of the internet, the large number of satellites, and the increasing use of mobile phones has expedited the field of communication. Okay, so the expansion of the internet, the large number of satellites, and also the increasing use of mobile phones has developed in the field of communication. Okay, so children, the answer in short, here we have, okay, 5 points are there. You can write any 2 points. Okay, so but be careful, you are going to write that in points, which means that communication has expedited the field of communication. Here I've given 5 points. You can write any 2. All right, so we'll discuss the other questions in the next session. Till then, thank you.